I know.
Right, so first of all, guys, if you can tell us about your business, tell us about what you do.
Okay, so I'm Andy, this is Laura, and we're Andrew Maguire Photography. We primarily are, or we have been for the last 4 or 5 years, photographers. But now, because of an increase of demand and the way that the industry is seeming to move, we're heading in towards videography. We've been doing video now for a year, and we are in the process of launching it properly in September, which is why there's going to be a price increase in September. Okay. But yeah, so we love weddings. We had a fake wedding ourselves this weekend.
I love the photo. You, for anybody who doesn't follow Andrew Maguire Photography, you need to check out their page because you've just done a blog post, haven't you, with photos?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, it's such a nice idea, and I think like things like that, it just lifts everyone's spirits because there's a lot of people obviously in your position, not only being a business owner, but also you've had to reschedule your own wedding, haven't you? When is it you've moved it to?
So we've moved it now to next April, end of next April. So,
and you still want to do something special on the day, just to mark the day. So
that was it. Yeah, we knew that the date was coming up, and we thought, well, we still want to celebrate. It was still going to be something, so why not do something in the house? And as photographers and videographers, we thought, well, we can video it ourselves and photograph it ourselves.
The best way, innovative.
Yeah.
And the photos are great because they're just really like natural, because your style of photography is very it's more like you don't do many pose photos, do you?
Well, I try not to, because I often think how I'd like to be treated. You know, I still don't know. I should know that by now, but I still don't know how I'd like to be treated as a groom. But I wouldn't really like to be told, 100 times to take my jacket on and off, to try and get the right shot. So, yeah, me and Laura just very much have a documentary style approach to it all. And we just like to shoot things as they are and as the day unfolds. And in Saturday's case, that's exactly what we did. And the camera just swapped hands between both of us, and then we just photographed. So there's a lot of the back of our heads because on our walk we were photographing each other on the walk, but that's exactly what it was. We didn't want to try and come up with some sort of front cover of the new Vogue or Vanity Fair or something like that, because that's not what we're about. We're all about celebrating real life and showing each other off and showing the love that we've got for each other off. And that's exactly the same way that we approach the weddings that we do. It's mainly the giggles and the little celebrating the awkwardness that everybody has, because I'd probably say 99 out of 100 people probably hate having a picture taken. So we've got
How do you deal with that as well? As a photographer, how do you deal with the people who don't like to have their photos taken? I mean, you take quite candid photos, so I guess a lot of the time you're being sneaky and they don't know that they're having their photos taken.
A lot of the time, yeah, that's probably right. But when there is a section of the day when we really want to try and get the money shots, at golden hour or just after the ceremony or whenever we take the couples off, and it's usually the boys who don't really love getting their pictures taken the most. So I normally have the approach of we try and find something in common straight away, and our job as photographers is the photography is. That comes after the beginning of the day is all about getting to know your couple, and hopefully throughout meetings leading up to it, we have a good idea of how to deal with them. But in answer to your question, it's normally, say for example, I'll count down from 3, or you've probably heard all the cliches of any photographer taking someone's picture, right? Smile, 1, 2, 3. I'll be taking a picture on -2. Not even 3, So, and those silly moments that occur afterwards and before, they're the money shots, and they're the shots that the little whispers in someone's ear, or the little cheeky. I ask my couples to tickle each other, or run, or lead each other off, things like that. And that's pretty much how we do it. It's all about creating movement and actions, and because sometimes if you just stood there like a lemon, you really do feel a bit insecure and a bit silly. Yeah. So we try and introduce a bit of movement, a bit of
tell a few bad jokes.
A few bad jokes always get thrown in the mix.
So
And that's pretty much
how does it work on the day? So do you both do every wedding, or is it sometimes there's one photographer, sometimes there's two, or how does it work logistically with you guys?
so the way we do it, we have one price, and if
For two of us.
yeah,
basically.
for two of us. So we'll both attend the wedding, and what we usually do is we try to be where the other person isn't, where we can. So we dedicate the day to either photography or videography. So we have a lot of questions saying, well, can we just book you doing both? But we don't like to do that because we like to both be on the same page when it comes to either video or photo. And that's what, I forgot where I was going with that.
Yeah, pretty much is a case of like, so if the bride and groom are in different places,
Yeah.
it means we can both be in different places, but also it's getting those different angles as well. So you don't just have the one looking down the aisle, you've got someone up close and someone at the back of the room.
Yeah.
Just things like that, basically.
Yeah, so we like to try and be where the other person isn't, where we can. And usually, for example, a classic scenario would be bridal prep would be occurring and I'd be with the boys, Laura might be with the girls, or vice versa. Or if we're both with the girls during bridal prep, I'll be photographing the bride and the bridal party. Laura will probably take the dress off, and that sounds a bit dodgy, not her own dress. She'll probably take the dress and the
pin in the corner.
We offer a totally naked service, and but that's a little bit more though, that one. Yeah, that's a bespoke package. But yeah, so we normally try and divide our time so we don't come home and we've got a hard drive full of the same pictures. That's what we want to avoid. So we want to try and get different. We never stood over each other's shoulders taking the same picture.
Basically,
Yeah.
So when after the wedding, how do the couple get the photos? Is it all digital? Do they have the option of getting albums and pictures, or how does it work?
So with what we do, we don't offer albums within our package. That is an extra. And what I do say to a lot of people now, because it's 2020 and next year when everyone starts getting married again, it's 2021. It's so easy to make your own albums, and I try and be as candid with everyone as I can. And I'd love to make a fine art Italian leather wedding album for you, but that would cost you nearly 700-800 quid. And if you wanted to do your own, then you've got the digital copies that you could do that yourself. Obviously, there is a bespoke price that we'd work out between us both if they wanted an album. But what would come as standard would be a handcrafted wooden box, and we've got a really nice supplier that we work with from Etsy. And obviously, the name and the date is etched into the wood. And in there, you'll find a selection of prints, and there'll be a bit like this, similar to this. There'll be a USB, 16 gig USB,
that's cool.
message in a bottle style USB, and that will have the high resolution prints on them. And as well, what we offer is an online gallery. And with that, there's also an integrated contract service as well. So once I've got the customer's details, it can all go through that website, which is called Shootproof. So we don't take any money off anyone until they've given us the Shootproof contract. Then we send out the invoice, and then the security deposit secures the date. And after the wedding, we send a gallery. So exactly all the photos will be in that gallery. And the genius part of it is that they can share it with everyone. For example, a thank you card. If you'd like to see the photos from our day, go to this website, shootproof.com / let's just say Simon and Julia, and don't know where those two names came from. And then they can either download a watermarked copy of any photo that they were in, if they were a wedding guest, or if they want to buy a print, they can just click on that button and they can buy an actual, it goes right up to like A0, I think, or A1. Wow. So people can buy their own prints, but that's only if the bride and groom want to. They don't have to share them. But the priority is the bride and groom, and obviously they'll get the high resolution copy within 6 weeks. We try to aim for, depending on how busy we are, and they'll get the online copy first.
So with the videography as well, is that a similar sort of process? Like, would it take the same amount of time roughly, or? Yeah,
same sort of thing. What we do it slightly different. So they'll get a short social media trailer, which is between 1 and 2 minutes, and that will go on my Facebook page within, let's say, I don't know, anywhere from 24 hours to 14 days. We normally make sure it's about 3 days afterwards, while there's a bit of heat around the wedding. And then it can take anywhere, I normally say to cover myself 12 weeks, depending on how busy I am or we are at the time. But yeah, the reality is that they'll have a hard copy wooden box with the USB, with the video files, which would be the ceremony recorded in full, the speeches, the social media trailer backed up as a hard copy, and the full extended film, which is roughly 10 minutes. So again, that comes on the USB as well.
And I've got to say, like, it's one thing I always say to my couples, and even like my husband will agree, getting a videographer for our wedding was the best thing we did, because there's something about having a video of your day that every time you rewatch it, you relive it, and in a completely different way. And there's things that you've missed, that you see people's reaction to things, and that you didn't even, I mean, you're kind of blinkered when you're getting married. You don't really know what's going on sometimes.
Yeah.
It's really nice to be able to watch it back and feel like all the feelings again. It is.
Yeah,
absolutely. I always recommend videographers, because I just think it's great to get all of those moments captured on video, and you know, for future generations, it's something really nice that they can watch as well.
So we've got between, for the business, we use a licensing music website as well. So we're not allowed to use, for example, a Bruno Mars song or an Ed Sheeran song. So what I do is I select some music that's, you know, depending on what the couple, if the vibe of the wedding is, let's say they're punk rockers, I'm not going to give them some classical violin music. I'll tailor it to the vibe and the style of their wedding. But I've got some really, really cool licensed music that I've got the license for, that they probably won't know. And like you were saying about reliving your wedding, with music to a moving image, it really does help to evoke a real feeling. Yeah. And that's one thing that we love to do. We love to use music and lots of different techniques with the camera to really evoke that feeling of just the feeling, the love.
And you guys, obviously you are a couple, so how do you find working together? Is it stressful or is it okay? I mean, I don't think I work with my husband, so you're very brave.
Well, I would say it's fine, but
I have to say it's 90% amazing.
Hang on, remember who's the boss. Remember who's the boss.
I do have to remember he is the boss.
She's getting furloughed in the morning.
No, but obviously there's a lot of responsibility on the day, and obviously it's a very, you want to do the best, and so obviously that can be stressful. And obviously he, like Andy, he's the main photographer on the day, like that's how it works. And so obviously I have to just let him do his thing, and if I need help, maybe find the right time to ask for that help.
It's a real plus point for you though, because there are two of you. You know that, you know, if Andy's busy like doing something else, you can capture those moments that might have been missed, you know, if a photographer on their own. So
yeah, so exactly we do have a sixth sense, almost like that couples have. Well, not every couple, but we've got like a system that we like to work to, you know, which we sometimes can't even explain.
Yeah.
It's
like the amount of times we'll get back and we'll look at the photos and you'll be like, I didn't even see that. And I'll do the same with him. Like, you both capture moments that you're like, oh wow, like totally.
And that's what we wanted to bring it back to, is we're putting our prices up in September because we feel like the price that we're offering now for photography is $13.50, and we think that's a bit of a bargain for two photographers.
Because that was your price on your own, wasn't it? I was the apprentice for about a year, so I just did it all to learn.
Yeah, and then with videography, it's going up to a similar amount. It's $750 at the moment, and in September it's changing to $13.50, just because we're slightly further behind with our, you know, where we are with videography compared to photography. There's no less of a good service. It's just we get less business. We get, I'd say, 75-80% photography, 20% video. Eventually we'd like that to be 50-50, because sometimes in the wedding industry you can become complacent sometimes with what you offer, and when you offer something new, it's exciting. So that's why we really want to push the videography side of things.
Yeah, well, I'm just going to quickly show your website now. So if anybody does want to check out your website, this is what it looks like. I will obviously post the links as well to your site so that people can go straight on there. But if you do want to check out the website, there's a really great blog on here. Like we were saying earlier, you've just done a blog post for your own lockdown wedding. So there's a really good blog on here which has got so many good examples of photos from weddings from start to finish. So, and that's a really nice thing to see, is like from beginning to end, you know, because some people, if they just see some photos, it'll just be 1 or 2 photos from a wedding. So it's really nice to see sort of these full blog posts.
Thanks.
So if you do want to go and check them out, I'll be posting the links on my site, but it's andrewmaguire.co.uk. Everything's on there, and all your links to your social media is on there as well.
Yeah.
Let me just...
Jess, can I just add one more thing as well? One thing that we try to do is we don't do this at every wedding, we normally play it by ear, but we have filmed at a couple of Gloucestershire venues actually, a couple of behind the scenes YouTube videos about how we work. So on my YouTube channel, for example, one of my favourite venues in the country is the Kingscote Barn in Tetbury, I think it is. And we shot a behind the scenes vlog about how we get the shots. And so as a customer, before you even email us to say that you're interested, you can have a look and feel like you've met us. So that's on our YouTube channel, which is Andrew Maguire Photography.
Brilliant. Well, I'll post all the links so that people can check you out, and obviously this video will be posted again, so if anybody misses the live then they can rewatch it. Cool. Is there anything else that you wanted to tell us about your business?
Always remember the magpie.
Look at you all branded. Oh, I'm jealous.
So we want people to see a magpie and remember Andrew Maguire Media. There's no real connection to magpies apart from that they're a little bit cheeky, and if you notice in the brand that it's got a wedding ring in its mouth.
They like shiny things.
And it's half of our name.
And does that mean we have to salute when we see you? Or
exactly, yes.
That's
the main reason. Is it 1 for sorrow, 2 for joy?
Yeah,
so there you go.
Oh, bringing joy to every wedding. There we go.
Yes.
That's what we like.
Exactly.
Well, thank you very much for joining me.
No, thank you.
Great. I'm going to post everything after the video's gone live. Sorry about the teething difficulties that we had at the beginning.
That's all right.
Oh gosh, no, not at all.
But hopefully we're streaming on Facebook and we've got you live on here. So
amazing,
guys.
Cool. Well, thanks for having us.
Thanks so much.
Take care.
Right. See you again. Bye.